guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'd like to tell you everything we know about Valor. If some of you guys, maybe most of you guys, don't know what Valor is, this is a in development MMORPG, something new, something fresh, something that is in pre-alpha stage at the moment of this video. But their ideas are still there, their core mechanics and things that they want to do are still highlighted to us. If you want to support this in development MMORPG, I have my referral link in the description of this video below. You click that, it takes you to their page, and then after that you register and you support them by purchasing one of the packs that they have available. So let's start with the basics. They want to make Valor into a sandbox kind of MMORPG as opposed to the theme park one. Sandbox MMORPG means that players have a lot more freedom to do whatever it is they want to do, and it's not a theme park one that forces you this, now you do this particular content, then you do this, and then after that you do that. And then sandbox MMORPGs, or the ones that call themselves sandbox, give players more freedom, much more freedom to change the world around them. Not that you can take this tree yourself and plant it in a different space, that's not what it means. It means that you have a much higher impact as a player to what's in the game and how things are done and what is to do in that particular game and its economy, etc. They want to go that route with Valor, which is definitely a positive thing for the majority of players. Personally, I don't really mind if it's a theme park or a sandbox, as long as the game is good and the things that are forced upon you in the theme park version are really good. I really don't care. They want economy in Valor to play a huge role, similar to what Albion Online does, where almost everything that players wear and the weapons and the stuff and the armor is crafted by players. They want to kind of go with the same idea in Valor as well. They also want to go a little bit further with that, a little bit, let's say, with a more realistic touch. For example, if you're gonna kill a reindeer out in the world, right, because it's there and you want to kill it, that the reindeer is never going to drop you a sword or a piece of armor, because reindeers don't have swords and pieces of armor. So they want to add a little bit of a realistic touch to things. They also mentioned that if you like how the weapon of an ogre looks like, you have a human character and you like that ogre looking weapon, then you can kill that ogre, and if you're lucky you're gonna get that particular weapon to use for yourself, an ogre looking weapon on your human. So these things are quite interesting. They have definitely their own charm in this MMORPG, at least their ideas is to go that way. Valor will also be filled with dungeons and raids, so they do want this kind of group content, organized group content in which people can get together, or guilds can get together, which is again a very big plus, something that many people are excited for, when their guild can get together to do some piece of content, right? They have instanced these dungeons and raid, and they also have like open world things. They also are planning to have these lawless areas that play a big part in the world, but you're not forced to go inside them. Inside these areas, if you die from being killed by another player, then some of your loot will drop and the other player can take it, right? Another very appealing thing for most players that Valor wants to have is the fact that guilds are going to be able to fight for territories and occupy those territories, also fight for world bosses, etc. Many people are very interested and very keen on this guild versus guild, or just guild kind of content, because it gives them a sense of belonging. Personally, I care zero about guilds. I've always cared zero about the guilds in every MMORPG I've played, because I just simply don't find anything interesting in, hey, let me play with my guild and not with another guy that's from another guild. I really don't care. But just saying, Valor is gonna have these kinds of things, and this is very good news definitely for these kinds of players. After you capture a territory, guilds will also be able to build castles there, castles which will require a lot of materials which guildies can grind or just buy them from the auction house, and then the next time around they're gonna have to defend that particular castle, right? So interesting stuff all around for guilds guilds as well. They also plan on having 1v1, 2v2, 3v3s, right, in terms of instanced PvP content, which is most likely gonna be the more competitive one, not necessarily the more fun one, because I can see some classes, they have a lot of classes in mind, like a lot. I'm gonna talk about these in a separate video, but I can see some classes just roaming around creating havoc in these open PvP zones. But there is also instance PvP that they want to do, of course. Also monthly leaderboards and cosmetic rewards for the people who are on top of these leaderboards, for the teams who are on top of them. Very interesting to note that they also want to go for these small territories that I told you guilds will be able to conquer. These small and medium ones will be available to conquer via these arenas in terms of PvP, right? So whichever team is better at PvP, they can conquer a small or a medium territory. The large ones are going to be a little bit different, but these ones give the opportunity for small and medium guilds to also compete. If you have like a 5-man static and you're in a guild also and you want a territory for the crafting stations or whatnot, then Valor gives you the opportunity, or wants to give you the opportunity to do that as well. In terms of classes, Valor wants to go with something that's gonna make them stand out in that sense. Classes and the class system seems to be one of their main focus and one of their main selling points in that sense. When this guy that developed the game so far talks about classes, he's always extremely passionate about the class system and the class this and the class archetypes, and the goddess of war gives you these things for berserker and stuff. So classes is something that's very important to them. They're gonna have the Holy Trinity healer tank DPS, for which personally I'm very thankful. I like just a little bit more games that have a Holy Trinity compared to games that don't have it, right? But that's just me. Classes are going to be able to be modified by you as you feel the need to modify them, right? A warrior can be a little bit more tanky, or a warrior can be a little bit more savage with more crit strike at the cost of something, right? If you want more crit strike, you're much more of a wet noodle. If you want to be more tanky, then you have much less attack power or crit strike, etc. So they wanna allow people to explore their class, which is a fantastic thing. I absolutely love, and I actually am unable to play MMORPGs that do not have a little bit more intricate class system than just the basics or the basics plus one panel. These guys from Valor seem to want to create and go a little bit more in depth, something that's not going to be very difficult for people to understand, but it's not going to be very boring for the majority that already understands it and they just want to play a little bit something else, right? Today I wanna heal with my priest, and tomorrow I wanna go as a full DPS priest and still be a little bit up there, maybe not the top, but just what I'm saying. So they wanna go with that. They're gonna have this celestial place also where skills can be enhanced. The skills that you have on your bar at any given time are dictated by the weapons that you choose. Another very interesting feature that further adds to the complexity of classes in an MMORPG. A warrior can wear 2 axes, or a warrior can wear a sword and an axe, or a 2-handed axe, etc. So depending on what weapon you wear, your skills on your LAS, because it works on an LAS kind of thing, you only have a limited number of skills. You cannot choose your skills, like for example in Lost Ark, but the weapon that you have, that you equip, is going to dictate the skills that you're going to have. In terms of PvE, Valor has a couple of highlights here as well. First of all, they want to go with something similar to what Guilders wanted to go with. They have these camps that are very good grinding spots, right? And as you kill mobs and as you farm there, you have a chance to spawn their leader, the leader of the lizards, the leader of the monkeys, right? And then that is kind of like a world boss, which requires a lot of players to defeat. So it's very interesting. Guilders 2 also has a variant of this kind of thing, is where you just go and kill centaurs a lot, then eventually you're gonna spawn an event, right? Valor wants to go a little bit different, but kinda in the same idea. In terms of dungeons and raids, Valor will have open world dungeons and raids, something that people can enter as many as there are there. The deeper you go in the raid or the dungeon, the more challenging the enemies are going to become and the better rewards you're going to get. And there's also, of course, instance dungeons and raids that, or there will be, there is nothing yet now in the game, instance dungeons and raids which are going to be for a limited number of players, so you can just make a party and just go there with your friends, right? Lastly, I want to mention the housing idea that they have, which is something cute in MMORPGs. Never was a big fan of it. I believe that the best housing system was in Wildstar, and there's never gonna be ever a system that's gonna be better than that. But Valar also has something in mind where they have these guild houses that after you conquer a territory as a guild, you can choose to move there and just stay there for the rest of your life, or you can buy a spot for a house or an apartment in town and have your place for storage and these kinds of decorating things as well. So a pretty cute idea. These are all of the things that we know so far about Valar. I will have in the future separate videos about each of these things. I want to talk separately about the class system because I want to take you through more than just what's gonna be like, right? I want to take you through a couple of classes and show you things. I want to go through the crafting, which is very important. I didn't even talk about it in this video, but as I told you, they want to have almost everything crafted by the players and gathered by the players, right? So economy plays a big role. That means crafting is super huge in Valar, and I really want to get into the crafting and the professions that they already have thought of and the ideas behind them. Super interesting, a little bit different than anything you've seen before in MMORPGs. So very excited for that video as well. But that's about it, guys. I thank you so much for watching. All of these ideas that I've talked to you about and the plan that Valar has for its MMORPG are the very things that made me want to get behind this particular game and try to support it along its road of many more years probably from now on, until it gets to be completed and taking some sort of a proper shape. If you want to support Valar as well, if you think that any of these things resound with you as a player, then feel free to use my referral link in the description of this video. Takes you to the website, you register yourself, you buy a pack. It can be a 10 euro pack just for the support, and you know, later on when the game comes out you're gonna have it, or a bit of a bigger pack, as long as this is something that you want to personally do with your money. I wish you guys lots of love. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to see you really soon.